London, UK. This is Coaching for Excellence. Keep your dream alive with internationally sought-after speaker, the no-nonsense business coach and entrepreneur, Placida Acheru. Join us every first and third Wednesday of the month as we bring you industry experts to empower and transform your world. Learn about entrepreneurs' secrets to success, client attraction, social media, website marketing, and wealth creation strategies, and many more. To increase results, go to www.coachingforexcellence.com. Call in to speak with the host at 1-760-512-7259. Now, here's Placida.
Hello, everybody. I'm here again with Keep Your Dream Alive. And like the intro says, we always bring in very special guests to share us some good secrets on how to grow our business. Today we have the very lovely Victoria Groom, and she is a well-known coach and mentor in the UK and has just started work in the US. She works with women in business, inspiring and guiding them to create a place, from a place of true desire, what they want in their lives. Victoria's specialty is in getting women on stock quickly and moving them on to creating wealth, health, and the lifestyle that they truly deserve. Her belief that you are your business and has contributed wonderfully to the mindset of success within each of her clients. She teaches and nurtures the pioneering spirit in all her clients that encourages them to believe in themselves, achieve limited success, and she's intuitive, energetic, and holds her clients safe when they hit the challenges that could push them off course. And we all know that it happens. We've all gone through that process at one time in our lives. Victoria is here anyway, and she is going to be sharing with us how to create that VIP experience, for your clients. And that is something that a lot of us do not know how to do. Our client is our business, and if we can create that perfect VIP experience for them, then we get to keep them. Victoria, are you there?
I'm here, Placida. It's lovely to be here with you.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you. When you sent me your topic, creating the perfect VIP experience, I thought it's excellent, because a lot of us are going towards the line of coaching and mentoring and supporting other individuals. And if we don't know how to create that perfect environment for them, we tend to lose our clients, isn't it? So I'm going to give you, the chance to tell us more about yourself and how you got into doing this wonderful work that you're doing.
Okay, thanks, Placida. Okay, so to start, I'll start really at the beginning without making too much of a long story of it. But my background is in publishing and in headhunting, would you believe it? So I started my working life as a sales rep for a publisher, and then rapidly realized that I didn't want to be traveling around. I was traveling around Scotland, Ireland, northeast of England, selling books to bookshops from publishers. And soon realized that what I wanted to do as an English literature grad was to move into the offices and become an editor. So I got a job at the tender age of 25 as a commissioning editor for a business book publishing company based in London. And it was a real baptism by fire. It was getting authors' manuscripts and learning the whole commissioning process and packaging up the book. And I learned a lot about business from the content then. I was very fortunate, really, and also a lot about sales and marketing. But I got a bit of wanderlust and went traveling for a year, in my late 20s. And when I came back, I went into recruitment, which was a real salesy environment. And again, learned a lot. It was banking, structured finance. Anyone who's in the financial services arena who's listening will understand that it's 2008 when I fortunately left before everything went wrong. Wasn't a great time for structured finance and property finance. And fortunately, I'd already done my coach training, and I already had a very strong inkling that working in the city, as I think a lot of people who move into the coaching, consulting, training profession, they have a background in employment, often in corporate or in the city, and they know that it doesn't make them feel good, that it's not quite comfortable, there's some kind of mismatch, square peg in a round hole is the way that I always put it. So I actually left on a completely cathartic experience I had on the train on the way home from Waterloo. I lived in South London, and I thought, you know, what is holding me back from leaving this job? There is absolutely nothing. You know, the world isn't going to cave in. The sky won't fall down. I won't suddenly be homeless. I realized that I was really tied with invisible strings to this job that I felt was my lifeblood, when actually all it was doing was taking away my lifeblood, because it wasn't what I was meant to be doing on this planet. So I left and in 2008 and set about setting up my business as a life coach, which didn't go very well. It didn't go very well at all, because I had no idea what dedication, what investment in time, money, and energy it really took. So if anyone's listening who's at that phase now, I think the innocence of it is very good, because you do get yourself out there and you do talk to people from that unconscious, incompetent state that we all learn about before you move up that stage to conscious incompetence and then move up again. So it's a very, very good breeding ground for kind of getting out there and learning and not worrying about what people think. But unfortunately, I didn't have any of that knowledge of how to put business systems in and structures. And so the movement that I made was into getting myself some really high-level support. Unfortunately, at this point, I'd already spent all the money I'd saved on living. And back in 2010, it was a question of getting together as much credit as I could to invest in a really high-level mentor who would elevate my learning, my understanding, and my experience so that I could really get out there, because the passion in me had never died. And I think I want to say to everyone who's listening, if you've still got a passion but it's not working, it will work. And as I say to my clients, there's no such thing as failure if you keep trying till you succeed. And this is the sort of the stage that I was at. And success changes its guise as well. It changes its look. You still evolve whatever level of achievement you get to. So, and I moved into working with women in business very much as an accumulation and an evolution in itself of becoming a woman in business myself. I really battled against that word business. I didn't want to have my own business because, of course, I had these negative connotations about the city, about corporate life, about what business meant. But when I flipped that over and realized that my business was actually my vehicle to get my purpose out into the world, I just started to see it very differently. I started to see it as a beautiful thing rather than something to be coped with and as a sort of noose around my neck as, running a business. So I started to see it in a different light. And the women that I coach now are women who are highly ambitious, highly intelligent. They've often had a corporate background, but they want to make changes. And they're changes that aren't just within their own life. They're sort of global changes. So they want to kind of stir things up and allow others to think differently, just as I allow my clients to think differently. So, for example, I've coached a woman whose mission in life is to change the way that the medical profession sees fertility. She's a fertility coach, fertility expert, reflexology. She uses the alternative health methods. I've worked with a client who's a pioneer for creative and inclusive education. She really is rallying the education system in this country to try and make it more inclusive and more creative. If anyone's heard of the academy-style schools that are starting to develop in the UK, they'll kind of know the flavour of this. It's not just about academia. I've worked with someone who's even trying to take on the justice system, someone who is looking at how young people are integrated into an adult world. So really kind of trying to change the way that people think about things and making a lasting difference in the world. And that's where my passion is. And getting women unstuck in their own businesses, which you mentioned in your lovely intro, getting women unstuck in their own business is the sort of first step to then them opening up to this wider purpose that they have in their lives.
Yeah, fantastic. You know what, Victoria, one of the reasons when I bring speakers, guests into the show, I like to find out how they overcame that struggle at the beginning. And there are a few things you said here. You said, your work was taken away. It was like it was taking away your lifeblood. And there's so many people who are stuck in that state right now where they've got this dream and then they've got this job, so they are torn between, do I go for my dream? Do I stay back in my job? How did you actually get yourself out of there? Did you just wake up and do it, or someone help you? How did you actually get yourself to take that big leap?
This is such a good question. For me, it was a cumulative thing. This cumulative malaise of feeling wrong and being in the wrong place. And it actually created a depression. I was diagnosed with clinical depression whilst I was working in the city. And as you probably know, there's no grace for somebody who's in mental discomfort in that kind of corporate environment. You have to keep going. I actually took a sabbatical. I went to learn French in France, and I went out to Spain for a bit, just for 6 weeks. And I had time to not think, actually. I didn't think about anything. I had this beautiful, lovely space in my mind and in where I was staying. And it was when I came back to work that, so I guess the tip number one is you don't have to leave your job to get some space. If that is too fearful for you, if that's like a little bit of a leap too far, take a longer holiday. Ask for some time off. Take a break that gives you, it's not just a week or two that you normally have and that you eat away your holiday days and you worry about not having more holiday days left. Take a longer break, ask for a sabbatical, get some space, because it was really when I came back from that sabbatical that I sat at my desk and I picked up the phone and I was like, what am I doing? And it really was like an epiphany moment. Now, I could have ignored that epiphany, but it was such a strong voice in my head, and I've had from what I know of you, Placida, I know that you trust in something bigger than us in the universe, and so do I. And I've heard this sort of voice in my head, so to speak, before, and it's caused me to run the London Marathon early on in 2008. I'm not a runner, and I've never done that. And I trained in a very short time, and it was the making of me in terms of proving that I could do something that I thought I couldn't. And that was literally this kind of voice in my head that said, why don't you run the marathon? No one said it to me. I'd never really thought of it. And I followed that. It's whatever you want to call it, your intuition, your divine guidance, universal truth. And so because I've kind of heard this before, and I suppose the first tip is get some space, so the second tip is listen to strange messages that come to you. If they feel a bit out of the ordinary, they're worth taking notice of and seeing if it's worth doing something with. So because I've kind of heard this intuitive voice before, when it came to me again, when I sat back at my desk after having taken my sabbatical, I took notice of it. And the third tip is you've got to take a risk. You've got to jump off that cliff and trust that there will be ground there. And there's no kind of medicine for that. There's no magic potion. You are the person that can make that decision, only you. And it builds up over a period of time for most of us, but you can make that decision at any stage of your life. And it's really, it's two things. It's either knowing exactly what you do want, or it's knowing exactly what you don't want. And at that point, I knew exactly what I didn't want, and I had an inkling of what I did want. So that gave me the push-pull dynamic that I needed to leave.
Wow.
It wasn't easy, but everyone thought I was crazy.
Everyone thought I was crazy when I started off mine also. I think I was crazy then too.
Yes. I think a little bit of crazy goes a long way, don't you? Well,
there's something else you mentioned. Which was when you got into coaching. You found out that coaching needed a lot more investment of your time, to get it to work. And there are so many coaches out there. I just want to share a little bit of what is needed, what's needed to actually make your coaching business succeed.
Sure. Wow, that's a big question. Okay, I'll do my best to answer that. In my opinion, obviously the first thing is to be the best coach that you can be. And this doesn't mean having to figure out what your niche is. I'm not a big fan of niche. I won't go into that here. It's perhaps not appropriate. It's not about who's my target audience and going and really having to be all outside of yourself about everything, about, who will pay for my services, who will, this is about being the best coach you can be inside yourself, really fine-tuning your skills. It's not even about getting that coaching qualification. It's not about the piece of paper. It's about learning the craft for yourself. Michael Neal, who is the author of the book Super Coach, and is someone who's an American coach, and I really, really look up to him. He says it's about making good coffee. It's all very well having this wonderful cup with great branding and a website and all that, but if the coffee isn't good, there's no product, there's nothing. And of course, it also affects how you feel about yourself when you're marketing, when you're networking, when you're promoting yourself. So that's the first thing, because I think we just kind of get that piece of paper and then it's like, oh, we're set. Really, really love what you do. Really fine-tune what it is you're doing. And when you're doing the training and you're doing free coaching, that's awesome. You do as much as you like. The second thing is learning about business. The thing, as I mentioned earlier, that I just put to one side. I was all about the universe. I was all about, manifestation, which I still am, by the way. That's a real cornerstone of the way I live my life and the way I work in my business. But it's also about having structures around your business and understanding what your strategy is and understanding who you are in your business. You mentioned earlier in your intro that my catchphrase, if you like, that you are your business. When you're in your entrepreneurial business as a coach, it's your business and you. There's no like going to work anymore, if you like. It's not like I used to just like push. It was so torn between these two selves. This person I had to be at the workplace and this person I was at home, and I'm sure that was partly what contributed to me falling into depression. But right now, I am my business. I am who I am, whatever I'm doing, because it's a purpose thing. It's about being purposeful. So, but you're still running a business, and understanding the structures and getting the right learning is crucial. Now, the other thing about being a coach is that I went for, this is a bit of truth time now, I went for probably over a year without having my own coach. And now I look back and I think, what on earth was the logic in that? I mean, the logic at the time was I can't afford it, which also was never true, because if you need something, you will find the money. If you need the money,
you will find a way. I believe that too.
Yeah. But I was a coach, and I was telling people how great coaching was, but I didn't have a coach. So that as soon as I met the woman at the time that I wanted to work with and invested £15,000 in 3 months of mentoring, you see where I'm coming from with the high-level investment. I was like, that's it. She's the woman. That's who I resonate with, and I need to invest in her. Again, my intuition spoke to me, and I think that was probably the most scary yet most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. Maybe you're thinking now, gosh, you haven't done much in your life. But it was.
Well, it got you to where you are now. Taking that, getting that high-level mentor. It's got you to where you are now. Your confidence is high up there. You're doing the same thing. You've got VIP clients. And that brings me to my next question. The topic is about creating the perfect VIP experience for your clients. And I'd like you to touch on what is this VIP thing that we're talking about? What is it all about?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, exactly. It's bandied around a lot, isn't it, this phrase, VIP Day. VIP is the ultimate experience for someone who is looking to create the best they can out of their lives or their business. Because remember that business coaches and life coaches just work in very slightly different ways, not massively different. Coaching someone around their life holistically, I think, is probably one of the most blessed jobs you can do, and we're blessed to have people in the world who do that. My belief is that the NHS should provide a life coach for every single individual in our country, because we'd be happier people. Having someone who is a partner, and detached partner, someone who holds, that walks hand in hand, helping you to figure out what you want in your life and then get it, because that's in essence what it is probably one of the most rewarding things we can give to ourselves is hiring that person to help us do that. So the VIP element of it is taking all that support and all that help and putting it into an intensive package. And the way that I work with my VIPs on an intensive level is they invest in a whole day. I live in a retreat house out in the country in Berkshire now, and they come here. I didn't used to though. I used to do my VIP days from my terraced house. And so I think my point being that you can create a luxurious, very special and massively up-leveling experience without having all the bells and whistles. You know, sometimes I'll do it at a nice hotel, but I did also do it in my terraced house in my living room. I set the space, I had the door open to my little garden, and people came and had a VIP experience. So the whole message of it is that it is an intensive. It's a one day. I also offer an hour before, a foundation hour, and 2 30-minute sessions after the VIP day to follow up. But the essence of it is that day where one of the key things as a coach, you have to remember, where you have to remember it's about your client and not about you. So the agenda, you have a rough structure, but the agenda is very much dictated by the client. And that's where their power comes from, because you're empowering them and working around what their agenda is.
Okay, so I get it. Well, how do you prepare for it? So I want to just imagine that, someone has come to you now and said, I want to have a VIP day. Victoria, guide me through it. So are you happy to give us some tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the preparation, because of course, I should probably have said in the answer to your previous question, a VIP day itself as part of an intensive package is not just about the coaching. It's about the energy that you're in. It's about the food that you provide. It's about the environment. It's about the air. It's even about the candles that you light, or the incense, or the fruit that you have on the table. And we all know that, that's why people have coffee on when they sell a house. It makes you feel good. And anyone who's in a feel-good energy in themselves is going to be more productive, is going to create more, and is going to be in their business plan at the highest level, be creating their business model from a point of inspiration. So the preparation for a VIP day, from my point of view as a mentor, is very much about my own space. So I journal every day. I write in a diary just whatever's in my heart, whatever's in my head, especially if there's, anything coming up that I think, I need to get this out and onto paper and clear the space for my clients. I'm going to say I meditate. My meditation isn't like some sort of Buddhist monk. I just kind of sit in a quiet space with some nice music, even if it's just for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just focus on my breathing. Because you are, as a coach, inherently desiring your client to have the best experience possible for them. And you can get in your own way. So that meditative time makes sure that I don't get in my own way, I don't get in my client's way, and by focusing on my breathing for 10, 15 minutes before they arrive, it gets me into a blank canvas headspace that then they come in and share, and then we start creating from. So I also, of course, make sure I know exactly when lunch is, where it's coming from. I've prepared what it is that they want from a dietary perspective. We've got some lovely snacks in. I've asked them, whether there's anything that they want to get from that day, particularly that I might need to get something in for. One day I had a lovely lady who wanted to do it outside. So, of course, I had to change venue because I only had a small garden at that point. So it was a summer's day. It was in the middle of a hot summer. So things like that. So it's about the energy that you're creating, but it's also about making sure you get enough information from them to create the experience that they're looking for.
Yeah. Fantastic. Before we carry on, Victoria, I would like you to just share with the listeners where you can be found, So your website, Twitter, username. Yeah?
Thanks, Judy. Yeah, it's simply victoriagroom.com. And I'm on Twitter, I'm Victoria_Groom. And then on Facebook, I'm Victoria Groom UK.
Okay.
So those are the three. And I'm pretty active on Facebook and Twitter. I actually built, just an incidental, I built my business by accident on Facebook, really. That was where I got some of my first clients. And because you are your business, and it was through my personal page, very much being yourself. So I think there's a lot. Social media, sometimes we battle against all these new things in social media, but it absolutely has its place. And if I may mention, actually, also I'm offering a free webinar on the 9th of May, Create a Revolution Through Your Business. And the website to sign up to that free webinar is revolutionthroughbusiness.com.
Revolutionthroughbusiness.com.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Okay. Good. Well, I'm not letting you go, so don't think I'm letting you go now. You still have to share some more things with us. I know that one of the things that you do is getting women unstuck quickly, moving them on to create wealth, health, and their lifestyle that they desire. And there's a lot of women there. I believe in the ability that women have to grow businesses. I just believe that we have been crafted in a way, that we're able to nurture and grow. We're managers, we're developers. But some women do not believe in this ability. And here you are, one of your specialties is getting them unstuck. Can you tell us a little bit more about how this is done? And, you might have some tips for the listeners if they're probably stuck right now, what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take you through one of my brief strategies, which is called the killer strategy. I'm actually talking to a women's group in Bristol about this tomorrow. But getting unstuck in your business, it happens to all of us. It might be you get stuck at a certain income generation level that you can't get beyond, that you can't quite bring yourself to raise your prices. It might be that you get stuck in some emotional stuff because when you are your business, it's a very emotional thing. You might be stuck in a certain mindset. You might be in a certain belief pattern that's not allowing you to sort of up-level your business. So the killer strategy, if you like, is a kind of preemptive strike. So if you're working by the killer strategy, you can minimize the chances of actually getting stuck in the first place. Now, very briefly, the killer strategy is this. We'll go through KILLER. So number one is K, which is know, which is all about knowing who you are in your business. So I alluded earlier to the fact that we often start with everything outside of ourselves. Like, what is it? Who do I need to go out and get? Where's my target audience? Rather than thinking, who do I want to work with? Really know your truth. And this is where you become the magnet for your clients. I'm going to keep this brief, so this is a whole hour's presentation. But the really knowing exactly who you are in the business and how that translates to the service that you provide. So K is know. I is then obviously inform. So then once you know it, you don't have to have had hours of strategizing. You don't have to have months of marketing. Start to inform people. This is the social media side of things, of course. This is your mailing list. You can have a mailing list of 2 people, but start it. Get things sent out. And pick 2 friends. Ask them to ask 2 friends. And just, you have a mailing list. It's all about creating from a place of belief that that's what you're doing. So inform people. Get out to, even when you're at parties, it's not about forcing things down people's throats, but when people ask you what you do, you can say, well, funny you should say that because I've just launched a new product, or I'm just trialing a new service in my business. I'd love to know what you think. So really enjoy informing people what it is that you're here to do, that you're about in your business. And of course, you have to go through the know stage to be able to inform people from a place of real passion and authenticity. And then the 2 L's are to love it. If you don't love it, your clients won't love it. Your potential clients they'll smell it a mile off. They won't even know it, but they'll feel it. And the attraction won't be the magnetic attraction you need. So you've got to love it. And L is live it. Now, if you have a signature strategy, or like a killer strategy, just for an obvious example, if you have something that you use to help people or that you are marketing and you're not living it yourself, if you're not referring back to that and embodying it in how you do your business, again, that's going to feel a bit kooky to people you're talking to. So you've got to love it, you've got to live it. Yeah. And then once those have maybe fallen off and you start to sort of evolve out of that particular product or service or part of your business, E is for evolve. So if you're not loving it anymore and you suddenly find you're not living it either, it's time to evolve, E for evolve. And then R is recreate. So once you recreate, I have products that I've gone through this strategy with that I still sell online. They're still part of my portfolio, if you like, but they're kind of at a different stage of my development, and I have new products. So once you've gone into the recreate mode, then you go straight back to K. It's like knowing. So what is it about this new service? I think knowing myself, I've got to really understand it. And then you go through. So it's like a revolving strategy just to keep your focus. Yeah. So if you're starting to get a bit stuck, it's like, well, am I loving this? No, that's why I'm stuck. I'm not living it anymore. Let's evolve. And if you're in the informed stage and you're getting stuck, maybe it's time to start telling more people about it. Maybe it's time to really start putting, we all do this, we write down great ideas on paper and then we don't action them. We don't get them out there. So this is really just a kind of backbone to keep you on track and to hopefully prevent you from getting as stuck as you might do.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know you've got an event coming up. I'm not sure. I think you did mention it earlier on that you've got an event or a program coming up. Am I right?
Yeah. I've the webinar is my next event. Which is on the 9th of May. I'm also speaking at Gina Ratliff's Gina DeVee's Divine Living World Tour on June the 7th and 8th, which is in London. So I'll be on stage speaking about creating a revolution through your business. And I think that's divinelivingworldtour.com. So I know that Gina's really just becoming so popular in the UK, and I love what she does for women in business. So I'm so proud to be speaking on her stage. So yeah, those are the next two sort of key events for me, apart from working with my private clients.
Yes. So do you want to talk to us about your mentoring programs?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make an offer to your listeners, Placida. The VIP intensives, as I mentioned, are a day, but they are juxtaposed by an hour's foundation coaching session beforehand so that we really make the most of that day. We set our plan and we get everything dusted off and ready to rock for the day. And then we have 2 30-minute follow-up sessions afterwards just to get that momentum moving. And they cost £3,000 for the intensive package. But in May, and I made this, I made an offer of 2 days to the women I spoke to at Carly Hope's Selling with Soul. If anyone's heard of Carly, they'll know that she's really rocking the scene and helping women to sell with soul at the moment. And I'd like to make the same offer to your listeners, which is I've put aside 2 VIP days at half price for May only. So that would be £1,500 for the VIP intensive package.
I love discounts.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know how difficult it is to invest in yourself, and you know, the higher the investment, to be honest, in money, the higher the investment in yourself. As I know, having my first big investment was $15,000. But by the same token, there's also people who want to step up, who have less at the moment to invest. And you know, by making these offers occasionally, if people are listening to your show, for example, they mean business. They're dedicated to their learning and their continuous development. So that's the reasoning behind that. And would you like them to contact you with that, or should I give them my email address for that?
Give them your email address, yes.
Okay, so if you're interested in one of the 2 half-price VIP intensive packages this month, that's May, just email me at victoria@victoriagroom.com, and we'll get in touch and have a chat and get that arranged for you.
That's good. That's good. And do mention that you heard about it on the show so you can get your discounts,
yes.
So that you don't pay double.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Victoria. You shared and given us wonderful tips, especially about the VIP experience and creating a VIP day. And for all the coaches listening out there, this is, something you need or might have to, incorporate into your business to help your business grow, creating that special experience for your clients. And it's a very beautiful thing that you shared with us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Placida. It's a pleasure, and you do such amazing work in your business and for other women in business. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for inviting me here.
Yes, definitely. I read your profile and I was like, I need to get her on board. I need to get her on board, So thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And I look forward to, in the nearest future, bringing you back on the show, or doing something else with you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So, listeners, thank you. Well, listeners, we've just got a few minutes to go. And I'd like to, at this point, share with you about an upcoming event in May. Actually, starting off in May, which is the 30 Days Business Challenge, and it's on the 30daysbusinesschallenge.com, where 30 women are coming together to do one video every day for 30 days. So check out the 30daysbusinesschallenge.com for more information, and I'll see you at the end of the month when we come up with another wonderful show with another wonderful guest sharing with you fantastic tips to help grow your business. So see you next month. At the end of the month. Bye.
You've been listening to Keep Your Dream Alive with business mentor and monetization strategist, Placida Acheru. Join us every first and third Wednesday of the month. Until then, keep your dream alive.